My studio colleague said that my work was an assault on the eyes and the senses, and at first I went home and I was like, oh, that's mean, that's a bit mean. I had a second think and no, this is a good thing. This means that for me it's doing what I want it to do, which is, yeah, have an impact. My family are originally from Sri Lanka. My dad's a doctor. He would always take us to the movies. We would watch kind of sci-fi films and kind of quite scary movies for us as kids. Jurassic Park and Independence Day. All of that influence definitely was the kind of birthplace of my interest in creativity and art and illustration. When I was a kid, I would do the research and find out who are the artists behind these movies, who are the concept artists, and those led me to comic books and art books. So Moebius is definitely the most influential comic book illustrator to lots of people. I think it's okay to take influence from other artists, so long as you're grabbing a bit that you like from one artist and a bit you like from another artist and you're meshing them together, and that is essentially what you're meant to do, really. That's what I do all the time. I think my parents kind of always felt like that was his fun side project. So I told them at 18 I was doing really well at art. And I was like, guys, I want to be an artist. And they were like, no. They said, please, can you do something that has a regular income, you know, feeds into the art and design, but we need to meet in the middle here. And I was like, okay, fine. So I spoke to my art teacher, and my art teacher was kind of like, you could go into architecture. But by the end of the diploma year, my final year tutor encouraged me to go into graphic design. That was like, thank you, because you've saved me a potential career failure, basically. I could have ended up very unhappy by this point if I'd still been an architect. I kind of decided to go freelance, and the sensible thing was to work from home and kind of save some money. And I'd spend all day working, and I'd lose the barrier between having a 9-to-5 and kind of having social time. My mental health started to decline. I started to feel very depressed about everything, really. I kind of sought some therapy help and spoke to all of my artist friends and asked them what they all did. Nearly all of them suggested a studio space. My interest in making surreal work was to basically try and kind of move away from my flat line, flat color style, which I was starting to get bored with. I've been drifting into the surreal and psychedelic illustration style for a while, and I was like, this is all I'm gonna do now. I'll go in and see vintage book covers. Some of this more psychedelic stuff is a big inspiration on the type of colors and type of settings I use as well. The pieces generally start pencil to paper. There's a kind of initial sketch, but then it goes straight into Photoshop, where I will bring the drawing up through the kind of layers, or I will redraw it myself. We're currently working on a project which is this big mural. It was a grant project by a PhD researcher. She happens to be my girlfriend and lives with me and the cats. So she was like, cool, do you want to be this artist that I get to collaborate with? And I was like, yes, please. And she's doing a PhD in the microbiome of the gut and how the environment that you live in affects your microbiome. And then I would kind of interpret it into a creative project. When I thought about her PhD, it was definitely the human body interacting with the environment. I'm excited because this is going to be the first time that my parents see something of mine that's kind of quite big, and there's going to be quite a few people around, and it's in a building that anyone can visit.
So that's it through the window there?
But when you stand looking far away, but you don't see it, and you concentrate on it, and there's a human being there.
Yeah. I think that was the intention. You're meant to kind of have the figure that blends in at the beginning, but then as you look closer, you can see that there's a human being.
I always looked at fluidity and looked at kind of nature-based, naturalistic stuff, because it lent more to the kind of surreal world that I wanted to build.
I never thought that you become that big artist.
I think that hard-working influence, I've got it from my dad.
You don't know tomorrow, that's true, you live today.
I want someone to look at the work and be like, wow, that's taken me out of my dull day, even for a split second.